The following podcast is brought to you by Radio WICV. To learn more information about us, visit us at radiowicv.com in the description below. Thank you, and enjoy.
In a world where podcasts are not sponsored by any big corporate conglomerates, one spicy redneck from New Jersey will come in and start to tell everyone that it's not on what's on the outside that counts, it's the scrotum and balls on the inside that makes everything worth it. This is Sketchcast.
What's up, everybody? I don't even care if you were grossed out by that, because this is the final episode of Sketchcast of the year. We will continue next year, but that will have to go on a brief hiatus. So, with that said and done, I hope you're all having a great December. I hope you're all getting through finals. I know for a fact I'm not. But with that said and done, I have my special guest to today, my very good friend, Andy Milauskas. Say hi, Andy.
Hi, and I'm so glad you got my last name right, because most people don't.
Oh, I'm always hell-bent when it comes to pronouncing people's names. But, okay, so, with that said and done, before I start this, I just figured I would mention that Andy and I are both transfer students. We transferred to Micah this year, and I can definitely say that the experience it's been quite different for both of us. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I transferred from a community college, the Community College of Baltimore County. It is a very different environment. For example, like, the studio classes here are, like, 6 hours long. Like, and you only meet up once a day. That's how it is for all of them. But I've been through classes at, like, community college where we met a couple times a day. And it was, like, maybe, like, 2.5 hours. So getting used to that change is really hard. My sleep pattern is so messed up.
Mine is, too. Well, not as much, but I don't sleep normally anymore.
Yeah, getting sleep this semester has been a challenge. I don't know how many times I've stayed up all night to finish things.
It's happened to me twice.
And if any faculty are listening to that, you did not hear a single word I said.
Oh boy. Okay, so with that said and done, let's get this whole shindig started. So, my first question to you is, in terms of going, far back, what inspired you to pursue the medium of art?
It's hard to pinpoint exactly where and why I decided to pursue it. I think it started when I was, 10. And I would, sit down, at recess and draw by myself because I have no friends. And then I just sort of kept drawing. And then by the time I was, 17 or 18, I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I guess just what I like to do.
Yeah, and it can be what movies you watched, what books you read, or family-related stuff.
I think it's by the time Steven Universe came out, where
Nice.
I was like, I kind of want to do something like that. I don't think I want to do animation anymore, but I am more happy making illustrative stuff. Mm-hmm. I am an illustration major.
Nice.
So I just want to tell stories with my art,
right.
And I do think that is a result from cartoons like Steven Universe, because if it wasn't for animation, then I probably wouldn't have been so into the idea of storytelling. I didn't really grow up with a lot of comics outside of Garfield and Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh, I love Calvin and Hobbes.
That's
the greatest comic strip ever made. If you disagree, read it and then you'll agree.
I had a book that my aunt gave me. She's in Ohio, and I just kept reading it. She's like, you can keep it if you want. And I'm like, okay. And then there's some things in Calvin and Hobbes now that I'm understanding as an adult, and I didn't understand as a kid.
I think they resonate a lot more with adults than kids, because there's plenty of stuff I definitely agree. Tracer Bullet, that ain't for kids. The whole thing, especially the strip about, or I guess strip arc about the raccoon. That is, oof. I remember rereading that and kind of tearing up a little bit because it's just so wholesome and it's so sincere.
I'll have to find it again because I haven't read Calvin and Hobbes in a really long time. I got rid of I didn't get rid of my book. My mom got rid of my book, probably.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, I don't know which one of us got rid of it. But I used to have that along with a couple Garfield books.
Garfield. That fucking meme. Okay, so my next question, at least when you were younger, Did you ever think the medium would benefit you successfully in addition to creatively?
I do remember being like 10 years old, and all I drew was Hamtaro, like I mentioned. Well, I mentioned I just drew by myself at recess, but I was thinking to myself, I'm gonna make an anime. That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh god, anime, that's for fucking weebs.
And I think like it's safe to say that when you draw anime and people like look at it, there's like the genuine stereotype that like, oh, this is, why are you doing this? This is for fucking weeaboos and crap. But there's kind of an art to it, right?
Yeah, there's definitely an art to it, and I think that both like Western and Eastern animation both have like just some really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know that when it comes to like academically, I know anime is usually like frowned upon, but I think there is a lot to learn from it.
Well, I mean, in another regard, like Western animation is frowned upon by those who do not like anything that isn't anime.
Yeah, I have before, like, I know I wanted to be in like animation, but I remember also there was a time where I thought I was gonna try graphic design. I was probably like 16, 15 at the time. I only thought that though because I was afraid that I wasn't gonna like make anything by like my own art,
Right.
and it would be more easier to do like logos for businesses.
Oh boy.
But graphic design is a different battlefield.
Yeah, I would say like, and you know, illustration, animation, graphic design, those all have like some positions in corporate environments that do lean their way to those like bigger successes for the individuals. But in terms of like making that stuff like for yourself, that's also a note. I think that's very noteworthy and pretty noble as well.
I was also interested in art education, so it was not really benefiting from my own work.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if anything does go like sour,
Right.
I mean, art education doesn't seem that bad.
Makes a lot of sense. I don't get art history, but I guess it's necessary to a degree.
Yeah, well, not even just art history. Like, I don't know. There's like just being like a teacher and helping like children.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because if it wasn't for some of my teachers, like, I probably wouldn't have tried to, like, maybe pursue art. Like, I had one good teacher. I went to Lansdowne High School, and his name is Mr. Nicholas. And he was the best art teacher I could have had. I mean, he, like, taught multimedia and televideo. And so it wasn't really, like, art that was, like, my thing, but thanks to him, I learned a lot of, like, Photoshop, like, before I came here.
Nice.
So now every time I sit through, like, something that's like, this is how you use Photoshop, I'm like, oh my god, I know how to use it.
Oh, that's happened to me. I'm like, but at the same time, like, even if I already know something, I'm not going to be like, okay, I get it. Because, like, other people in the classroom, they probably don't get it, so...
Yeah, it's for everybody else's sake, too, because not everyone has easy access to Photoshop, and that's one of the things I actually like about being here is that I have access to like the Adobe suite, like,
right,
because I downloaded Premiere thinking, yeah, I'm gonna make some like speed paints, I'm gonna make some videos.
It's not that easy.
And I know how to use Premiere, but it's just I haven't.
No, I get that. Yeah, everyone does it in their own way.
Yeah, maybe the winter break I'll try some speed paints. So
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Okay, so who would you consider to be your idol to keep following your passion?
Oh, geez, that's really hard.
It's Rebecca Sugar, isn't it?
I mean, I do enjoy Rebecca Sugar's work a lot, but I don't know if I look at her as like an inspiration. I think her art style has reflected into mine though, so subconsciously, yes.
Yeah.
But I don't tend to like idolize her, I guess. I'm very worried about idolizing like artists.
Yeah, I've done that before. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, it's also just kind of like, I know if I put people on a pedestal, they're only going to disappoint me.
Oh, yeah, that's happened to me many times.
Yeah, so it's just like I don't want to do that to other people and do that to myself. But I guess the one thing that keeps me going is my friends.
Aw.
Yeah, my friends have probably been the most supportive of my art.
Here or like from your hometown?
I would say some from my hometown. Most of them I don't speak to anymore.
Oh.
But I do have like a couple friends from my hometown. I was friends with during my time at CCVC.
Mm-hmm.
All of those people have like helped me out a lot, but also my online friends because I don't know like if I would have gotten the same validation from them as I would outside of the internet.
Right.
Because I remember, like, being 13 on DeviantArt.
Oh boy.
But that's kind of why I kept drawing, because I liked sharing it with my friends. Like, I remember, I don't know if she's listening, but my friend Brianna, she's known me since I was 10 years old. Wait, no. Yes? I don't know.
She's known you since you were little.
Yeah, I know we've been friends for at least a decade, and we used to, like, role play together, and I always liked drawing, like, our OCs. I had a Sonic the Hedgehog character, she had, like, a Naruto / Tokyo Mew Mew character, and I think I've, like, redrawn them together before in the past, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Actually, I guess that actually kind of leads me into my next question, but, and you already mentioned DeviantArt, but, like, has social media been useful in showcasing your content to others?
I think it has, because it's kind of, like, the only way to get around now as an artist, I feel like, because I feel like finding things, like, publicly to put yourself out there in the outside world, that gets a little tricky, because you gotta find those things, like, via the internet now.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be on Facebook. I mean, I still have an account there, but I don't really use it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in art groups before, and that's how I used to, like, make commissions
Right.
a while back until I decided to stop participating in there.
Mm-hmm.
DeviantArt was also one of my big, like, commission things as well.
Nice.
But I kind of enjoy the environment of Twitter and Instagram a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Like, with Twitter and Instagram, I usually go on there to, like, obviously follow the artists that I do, but also to mainly look at stuff that I personally enjoy. Like, I don't get involved in anything that's, like, political or all that social. Like, that's not my territory. So that I do get. And have you ever, like, you follow someone on Twitter or Instagram, have you ever DM'd them?
I have before. Not usually, like, to, like, try and, like, chat, but sometimes I'll go to, like, well, I guess to chat, but
Mm-hmm.
it takes me, like, several months of, like, building up courage to, like, say hi to one of my mutuals. So, like, I do feel like I have trouble, like, commenting on art, like, hi, I really love your art, because I'm just kind of, like, I don't want you to, like, think I'm annoying. So I just usually, like, silently like and retweet and then kind of move on.
I like this. Click.
Yeah, the only unfortunate thing I think, though, with social media, because I feel like it's very helpful in a way,
Mm-hmm.
because it's what we gotta rely on now since we're in the digital age.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, the algorithms are so messed up that it's so bad, it's so hard to put yourself out there as an artist. Like, and I know with, like, Tumblr, I think it's a thing to prevent spam,
boy.
but I've had issues where if I set up, like, a new blog and I, like, tag something, it wouldn't show up in the tags for a couple days
Mm-hmm.
because I was, like, a newbie, and they
Right.
didn't. I guess that's a way to avoid spam, because they have spam issues.
Yeah,
I
that's an issue.
I remade my account, and, like, literally before I had any followers, like, put anything up there, I got one of those bots messaging me, like, hey there, are you looking for a good time? And I'm just kind of like, leave me alone.
I hate those so much. Yeah, those sites are awful for having those fucking ads up.
Yeah, I really hoped that maybe they died down with,
Nope.
like, a certain ban,
No.
but that didn't happen.
I mean, Tumblr tried to ban certain things that got posted, and that fucked them up even more.
Yeah, they just kind of basically shot themselves in the foot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tumblr's too toxic for me anyway.
It just... It feels like it's very hard just to find one particular, like, social media or, like, any site for me, like, put up art. Like,
Right.
I feel like DeviantArt has a decent, like, search function,
Mm-hmm.
but the problem is, like, the community.
Oh, God.
Because, like...
People who can't take criticism and, like, you criticize them, then they'll send you death threats.
Sometimes it's also... I feel uncomfortable when I get, like, accounts that are, like, solely, like, fetish material.
Oh, yeah.
Like, liking or favoriting my work, or just interacting with me.
Rule 34, aka the best rule.
Ugh, no thank you. I don't know, there's something about, like, those accounts that just make me feel so uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of
Yeah.
stuff like that I can't even enjoy.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, no,
It's just like,
no.
I had, like, a piece, I think, where I made, like, Amy Rose and, like, Blaze the Cat,
Mhm.
and I just sort of made Amy Rose just kind of, like, chubbier, because I'm, like, Sonic's got no, like, body diversity.
Right.
So I'm gonna, like, change this up. And then someone was just like, why did you, like, make Amy fat? Not complaining, but she looks really nice. And I'm looking at their account, and I'm just like, oh, that's a fat fetish account.
Ooh, boy.
And I'm just like, she's 12.
Oh, no. Wait, she is?
Yeah, Amy Rose is 12.
What the fuck, internet?
Yeah, so I'm just like... So
Mm.
it's just like, you're a gross fetishist, and you're a pedophile. Leave me alone.
Look, if you age her up, fine, but that's still not cool.
Yeah, but even with aging up, it's just kind of like, why would you want to do that?
Weirdos come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, they come in all shapes and sizes, but I just wish something be done about them.
There's nothing that can be done. We are in a world of degeneracy.
Oh, I am... Maybe one day they'll be gone, or they can, like, do something like filter themselves, so I just don't have to see it.
Oh, boy. Okay, so, now we're moving on to college-related stuff. So, I guess you mentioned that you went to CFE... What was it called again?
CCBC.
That place, and that was a community college. So, going there, how does it compare to this more prestigious college that is Micah?
I think it's a little different also in some ways, because when I went to CCBC, like, I commuted. You don't have dorms at a community college. But,
Right.
like, now I can live on campus, and that is very convenient.
Very much.
I know my family doesn't live far away, because I'm, like, from Maryland.
Right.
But it's kind of nice to actually be on my own and have the convenience of just walking over to, like, Fox. I gotta say, though, like... Well, I mentioned before, like, the classes are, like, longer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very stressful.
Yeah.
For me in particular. I'm trying to figure out how, like, it compares. Well, I guess also, it's just that now I moved from this, like, environment where, like, everybody kind of knew everybody. Not quite so, but at least for a long time I was in a position where I knew everyone in the art department, almost.
Right.
And I was very familiar with the professors. The professors were very familiar with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm, like, back in this environment where I don't know anybody. And that's very new. And that was very frightening.
Right.
And I still don't know anybody.
You know me.
I know you. And I know some people here on campus. But I guess what I mean is, like, it's just kind of like, well, now I gotta, like, start from, like, the ground up again.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get that. Like, when I first came here, or hell, like, even when I went into my first college, I was like, okay, I don't know anybody here, but it's good to make a fresh start. So, what's up, peep?
I can also say the school's a lot more expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, community college is just like, okay, just a couple thousand. That's not too bad, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Micah, well, we can give you scholarships, but otherwise, cha-chingaroo.
Yeah, even with those scholarships, it's still very expensive, and I know I'm, like, saying this, like, on air in Micah's campus, but, I mean, that's just, like, the harsh truth of it. Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like,
No,
this is
we're
expensive.
not shit shaming this school, but we're just being honest.
Yeah, and it's also kind of how it is for, like, a lot of colleges, though. But some people have, like, hear me tell them what the cost of, like, the tuition is yearly, and then just like, what? Like, I don't even pay that much. And, like, next semester, like, I'm not having help from family. It's just gonna be from me, probably. So I'm just like, I'm about to sign away my soul.
Might as well.
Okay, time to write up in this contract.
And done.
I think I've gotten some more interesting projects, though.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like I am getting better critique here than I did at community college.
Oh, for sure.
Both from professors and students.
Nice.
Though I love the professors at CCBC. Sharda Conaway is a sweetheart, and I love her.
Nice. Okay. Now, this goes into, like, us being transfer students, or I guess, like, you specifically. But, so I've always, like, me personally, felt that having transfer students, like, coming in from different colleges to another, I find that more fascinating than, like, say you meet somebody who's in one school for the whole for 4 years or so. So, have you ever felt that way yourself?
I'm not sure if I quite have. I never really thought about that.
Because, like, it's different perspectives coming in from different areas.
Yeah. For me, it's like everyone I've met has like been here since like freshman year, mostly. It was like, outside the transfer orientation, so I already know who like the transfers are, like from this semester.
Right.
But like everyone else I've talked to has been like, yeah, I've been here since like freshman year, and I'm just like, wow, you're really paying out all that money, huh? But like I don't blame you if you got it like accepted like as a freshman, like good for you, like because I remember how my art was like straight out of high school, and I'm just kind of like I didn't have like the skills and knowledge I had back then, and I don't know, I didn't even know this school existed. I didn't know this school existed until like a couple of years ago.
Nice.
I didn't know when I was like leaving high school. Then I probably would have actually applied here, and I don't know if I would have gotten in or not. But
yeah, no, I couldn't imagine coming here straight out of high school. I think I would have had a mental breakdown.
Oh, I definitely would have, because I remember when I was like at CCBC for the very first time, I took on like 5 classes, like I'm doing right now, but none of them were art classes. Well, except for one.
Right.
And
which is kind of the point.
That transition from high school to college is really hard. So I can't imagine like jumping into Micah's workload like straight as a freshman. So like I have to say, like, people who can do that, like, I commend you for it.
Yeah.
Especially when I've heard like a lot of the freshmen like have to get like a sketchbook for like every single class.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ooh, you guys are probably like spending a lot of money for your courses and like.
Well, actually, at my previous college, it was a little more convenient because like on one of the first days we were there, they actually gave us bins filled with like sketchbooks and like little arts and supplies that we could have, and we kept them throughout like pretty much our whole like the 2-year stays there, so that was nice. But like for other people, get your money out.
Yeah, I can say I definitely spent a lot this semester. This has been one of my more expensive semesters.
I can imagine.
I'm kind of glad I'm very fortunate to have a mother who will help me with my credit card bill and my college. Like, I know it won't be like quite be like that next semester, but like, I'm glad she's doing it now, and I would not be sitting here having this interview with you, if it wasn't for her. So.
Nice. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, she's not listening.
Probably not. So, next question. So, given that you're an illustration major, also concentrating in animation, and I guess that kind of like leads back to what you said before, how has that applied to your college experience? Do you feel like you've enjoyed the smaller field of studying as opposed to your main one, or do you feel like both fields have influenced you very strongly in the long run?
It's a funny story. I know I told you before I was concentrating in animation.
Yeah.
And then when I had my last meeting with my advisor, it turned out I never had picked a concentration.
Well, you got me.
Oh, got him.
Oof. Got him.
But what was the part of that question again?
I guess, like, which field have you enjoyed more? The concentration or the main one, or both?
I do enjoy the illustrative aspect more. I like storyboarding, but I hate actually animating. I like the storyboard process stage. Mm-hmm. Like, I like planning. I just don't like putting the pieces together.
Right.
Like.
Yeah, that actually, like, makes me think, like, there was that Cartoon Network info session we had, and a lot of animation majors were kind of disappointed because, you know, they do the actual animation process overseas, but...
That's actually very common, too.
Oh, yeah. But they also do storyboards and animatics, as well as character design and all that, so I figure, and I guess this can apply to you as well, if, like, we don't end up doing animation, we can always do that stuff, which is not as tedious.
Yeah. And I am taking a character design class, which does come into, like, the concept of, like, animation. I'm sure it'll probably like be like, make this like thing that would be like a cartoon character, like for this kind of show, and I'll be like, all right, I guess I gotta do that now.
Okay, I'll draw it this way. I'll draw in the Steven Universe style.
Which is another thing too. There's no such thing as the CalArt style, people. Get over it.
Yeah, and the person who coined that term, maybe shouldn't listen to him, because what's his name? John, what's his name?
John fucking Chris Falusi.
Yeah.
That's another thing, too. Like, people don't realize this, but that pedophile, John Kay, his original version of the CalArts was, like, animated films that copied the Disney style, but
it's from the perspective of someone who was a cynical piece of shit anyway.
Shitting on John K.
Oh,
ASMR.
I'll shit on him any chance I fucking get. Fuck that asshole. And I probably shot myself from meeting any industry professionals. But, oh well.
Hey, I would rather die standing than live kneeling.
Good one. Good one.
Oh. So, like, I mean, if, like, Cartoon Network or, like, Nickelodeon, whoever, like, is looking for some, like, illustrator, and they have to put up, like, John C.K., like...
They're never going to at this point.
They're never going to at this point, but I'm just gonna say it. Fuck John C.K.
John C.K. Louis John C.K. Oh god, fucking Me Too people here. Oh god.
Yeah, I don't know. That's also, like, the other issue. It's, like, when it comes to, like, finding, like, jobs in, like, the industry, it's just, like, I'm not gonna tolerate those sort of, like, behaviors from, like, other people.
I don't think that behavior is as tolerated, like, nowhere near as tolerated
not
as
as
it once
near
was. So,
tolerate,
like, I think you and I will be okay, but if it does happen, like, we gotta speak up about it. It can't be silent for years. That's why John K.'s secret was closed for 20 fucking years and then came out.
Yeah. And that is one of those things that have made me, like, scared of, like, entering, like, the industry because, like, I know that, how do I put this?
Take your time.
It's unacceptable behavior, but yet all these people are, like, in these, like, industries, these, like, companies, and they're hiring each other, so I'm just, like, that makes me very afraid to be in that kind of setting.
Yeah, well, like, no matter what, you're always going to find those types of creeps out there. That's just a given. But depending on where you work at, I don't think that type of behavior will be that common. Like, maybe it'll be bigger and, like, a bigger company because, you know, oh, I can just abuse my power by doing all this type of shit. But, like, even if that did happen, like, hopefully a good amount of people would, at the very least, like, at least try to speak up about it and get it, like, taken care of.
Yeah, I just find it very sad because, like, I know that the people who are speaking out are putting, like, their lives on the line.
Right.
Like, literally, because that's their job. That's how they make their money. You know, they didn't get, like, a degree in, like, animation or whatever for nothing.
Oh, exactly.
And that's a lot of money to also, like, pay back. Like, I'm gonna have to do that in a couple years.
Yeah.
So, they're also risking their source of income. And when you do that and you're an artist, like, that's the term starving artist is real. There's a reason why it's called that, and it's not a good thing to be.
Nope.
It really sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you get your stuff out there well enough, make a good living off, like, selling your stuff online, getting your work out there to professionals, you know, good professionals, not the toxic ones, you should be okay, I believe.
Yeah. Maybe someday things will be a lot better.
I think so too, but you know, we still have a long way to go, but I'm hoping.
Yeah.
It's not good to just think there's going to be a light at the tunnel and not do anything about it, but it is good to at least try something.
Yeah, the only thing we can do right now, I think, is to stand in, like, solidarity with, like, the people who do come forward.
Yeah.
And keep trying to push for, like, companies like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon to be better.
Yeah, that's all we want at the end of the day.
And also, just a little, like, tip for, like, all the people listening. Unionize your fucking crew.
Oh man, the fucking BoJack Horseman animators didn't get unionized until this year.
Are they still going? I thought I heard something about them losing a season or something.
Well, it's getting... I don't know if this is true. I think they were planning, like, 8 seasons, but for some reason Netflix was like, you're doing one more split into 2 parts. I'm like, that is the greatest fucking cartoon you've ever made. I am so pissed at you, but I will see what you guys have to offer. Like, the first part of season 6 was great. Let's see how it wraps up.
I think I'm more partial to Tuca and Birdie, and that's not getting another season. Netflix said no.
Why?
And it was really good, and I really related a lot to both Tuca and Birdie.
It's BoJack Horseman for women, basically. Although it's not as depressing.
It's not. It doesn't have, like, the overwhelming, like, depressing tone.
Yeah.
But there are parts that really punched me in the gut.
Yeah. Without, like, going into detail.
Yeah, without spoiling anything, there's something you learn about Birdie's past, and, like, as someone who's, like, kind of been through that really hit home, and it was handled so tastefully, and I'm sad that we can't get to see anything more from this show.
Yeah.
Because there's so much more that could have been, like, addressed and talked about.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if this is true, but I think, like, the creators considering, like, bringing it to, like, another network or something for, like, air, which I really, really hope, like, we could really use more of that. But, we got 10 very funny and very heartwarming episodes, so, that was something.
Maybe Adult Swim. They seem like the most likely to take it, but but with all their other content, it's also kind of like
well, and also the very misogynistic Mike Mashad, but
oh yeah.
I mean Mike Laszlo, Mike Mashad. We're going into fucking Channel Awesome territory. Oof.
Ooh, that's a whole other story because then you got like
that made me mad. But
yeah.
Let's not go into that anymore, or else I'm just gonna punch a hole in the wall. I love this. We were talking about like how great your upbringing in terms of art was, and now it's like, what's the most toxic fucking person in the industry?
That's gonna be a really hard question, but like John K is up there.
Oh, I think he took that cake and shat on it.
Yeah.
Okay, but enough about all that. Okay. Next fucking question before this gets more sad. No offense. But, so, many students tend to focus much more on their work than socializing with others, which is, I'll admit, I've kind of fallen into that a little bit, but I have gotten better, like, in terms of socializing with others. But, you know, some people just, they progress better when they're focusing on their work than, you know, socializing, which is totally fine. But, I think you've kind of fallen into that trap yourself. So, like, how have you found being able to progress in school in spite of that dilemma?
That's a really good question. It's something I'm still struggling with. I find it very hard to put myself out there. So then I'm like, all right, I'm going in my dorm now, and I'm gonna do some work, and then I sit there and play Minecraft for 3 hours. Probably longer than that.
I gotta finish this essay really fast. Oh, there's a new episode of One Piece. Binge watch!
So it's been kind of hard. I do have an online friend, so at least I'm like socializing like via the internet. But I do want to start socializing here at Micah a little bit more.
I found that I can't really go by this place without, at the very least, chatting with one person at least a day.
Yeah, it also kind of like sucks in a way because I'm a shy extrovert, so it's like I really like talking to people. And I like making friends. And I like being with my friends. But the thing is just kind of like, I clam up every time. So I kind of just hold myself into my dorm.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
Yeah, so I feel like one solution could be just to have like work parties.
Yeah. That's kind of why like I enjoy going to certain events, because I get to like, not only do I get to do stuff besides my usual boring shtick, but I can also, you know, just chat up with others.
Yeah. The only question though would be like where on earth I would hold like a little like work party, because my dorm is too small. If you're doing traditional work, it's a little challenging, but if everyone has like a laptop, then
oh yeah, I can imagine. Oh, it can be in like, I don't know, the fucking Meyerhoff underground basement.
Yeah.
Oh man, I still remember when the Steven Universe movie was being screened there.
Oh, that was really fun. I enjoyed that a lot. That's like one of the campus events I've been to, and I've like stayed the whole time, and like I had a really good time. Not to say that there are others that I haven't had a good time in. Mm-hmm. I've been pretty happy at all of them.
That's good.
But I just look at the Steven Universe event really fondly. I still love Spinel a whole lot. I made a gemstone that is a Spinel. Because it's a real gem. I thought Spinel was just her name, but I was like, of course she is a gem. They are all that way.
I just liked her design, like mainly with like the 1930s squash and stretch cartoon aesthetic. In fact, I remember a friend of mine from my previous college was like, I was watching this movie and I was like watching the villain. I was totally thinking about you. It's like, he's gonna love that design, and I did. It was very cute.
I can say I've watched Other Friends over and over again, like just because I love Spinel's animations in that particular scene.
I still remember when the gems were sliced up and everyone was like, no!
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. I really thought that they were gonna like be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, not to get like spoiler things, but of course they're okay. It's Steven Universe.
Of course. It's a show for kids.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, is it for kids or adults or both? it's for both. But the primary target audience is kids, so I don't think it's really all that too far-fetched to say, like, no, it's for us. Like, it's for kids.
Yeah, and I feel like the movie actually like, sort of rekindled my love for Steven Universe. Like, it was
Right.
going back at the finale. I was at a time where I was being really overly critical. I had like an over...
Oh,
I had
so
like a
was I.
critic stage.
I'll admit, I'm a little critical of the show myself. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but, like, I enjoy it for what it is, even though I'm like, okay, this is dumb, but, you know.
I looked at things in a way that was, I would say, rather unhealthy for me. Like, I was kind of nitpicking, like, a lot of things I saw, and I was doing it with, like, other things I watched, and then I realized
That's
how
not healthy.
unhappy that made me, because I felt like I couldn't enjoy things anymore. But the thing is, I can, and I don't need to, like, do this all the time.
In my opinion, if you're gonna, like, watch that type of media, like any media, you should have, like, a good balance between the critical side of yourself and just the genuine, like, fun reaction of it. Because, like, if you go to one side, that then either side, then it's just you're not having fun at all.
And that's not to say, like, people can't, like you know, critique or anything. It's just, like, sometimes you need to, like, give yourself a break from that.
Yeah, I remember there was a point in my life where, like, oh, this person said this movie was bad, so it must maybe be bad. I'm not watching it, but then, like, I would actually watch the movie, and it's like, oh, it's decent.
Thanks, CinemaSins.
Listen, I don't care about CinemaSins, but they kind of are responsible for that mentality. But thankfully...
They're one of the couple channels that are responsible anyways.
Yeah. But thankfully, the YouTube, like, movie critic analysis has grown stronger as of the past few years. So I think I think that the more sane creators for that.
CinemaSins Sketch-a-Cast episode.
Oh, Jesus. Hey, wait a minute. You're wearing glasses. Ding. Oh, there's a Pulp Fiction poster in here, but it's not the original. Ding. It's like, okay.
Every time I have to, like, pause the thing, they give me a ding.
Oh, my jeebus.
Like, you're in a podcast. You should be able to keep going and be entertaining. Ding!
Wait. Oh, no. This show was created by Rebecca Sugar. Ding. Oh,
Jeez.
Speaking of which, a little add-on. Ian JQ and Rebecca Sugar, they tied to the knot.
Also, Steven Universe feature is the... See, I get a ding for that one.
Ding.
Steven Universe Future is premiering, is it tonight or is it tomorrow?
Tonight?
Tonight or tomorrow.
Oh my god.
I
gotta go!
I think it's tomorrow because it's December 7th. That's right. I couldn't remember today's date.
Oh, that's awesome. The fans are gonna eat it all up.
I'm very excited for it, but I don't have a way to watch it, so hopefully someone uploads it to Dailymotion so I can watch it.
I'm looking forward to all that, and I'm looking forward to Ian JQ and Rebecca Sugar's future baby, if they have one.
What if they call it Steven?
Jesus. It's like, but like Rebecca Sugar has a brother named Steven, so it's gonna be like Steven Jr. or something.
Steven Jr. There is a character in Steven Universe named Steven Jr. who's a cat.
God damn it.
Yeah, because Steven finds like these kittens, and I think Garnet keeps one, and she picks the name Steven Jr., I think.
I love how this podcast turned into a Steven Universe circle jerk. Okay, so we got 2 more questions to go. So, what advice do you have for students first stepping into the medium of illustration?
Let's see, for stepping in like to the medium, it's like hard for me to say. I want to say that reference is not cheating.
No.
Please.
No.
Look at reference.
Absolutely not. I think it's more important to have reference because you become more inspired that way. Like, I tend to enjoy looking at, like, when I'm doing, like, a fun little character drawing or something, like, and I'm looking at, like, a cartoon or, like, an actual, like, live model, I find that to be a lot more helpful.
Yeah. I think another thing I can say is, like, it can be, like, general advice that you'll hear on the internet all day. Like, take breaks. Please take breaks, because when you're an art student, like, you're doing a lot of movements with your wrist, like, when you're drawing. And I have paid the price for it, like, before I came here.
And even if, like, that break is just sleeping, that's good.
Yeah, and, yeah, sleep is so important. If you can, please get sleep.
Please
I know
do.
we're hitting like finals, so maybe this is a good time to say like, while your work is very important, you also need sleep, and if you are not well rested, you will not be able to work.
Yeah.
So even if it's just for a couple hours, just sleep.
Yeah, like that. You know, like this has even happened to me before. There were a few times when I would like there was too much going on in my life, be it like school or balancing that with like personal stuff and like a job or something, and there were times where I would kind of go crazy a little bit, but then I had to like step back and reflect and realize, okay, I gotta think about my life before anything else, because if I don't,
Yeah.
whoop!
If there's anything I learned this semester, it's you can't fill up other people's cups
No,
when you don't have anything to give them.
because then it becomes a case of like too many cooks in the kitchen and not enough stew to make.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like, even if I don't like have anything to give them, or like if I just have just like a couple drops of energy left, the thing is like those drops are only going to be temporary happiness. Like you really need to have yourself like together, because
Oh yeah.
it's been a circus of a semester for like various reasons, and like both inside and outside of Micah.
You're right.
So I'll admit I've reached that point like the semester where I was overexhausted. Like I know what my stamina is now. That's the one thing I can say I learned.
But that's good though, because like if you like realize that the mistakes you made and realize that okay, I know how I can organize myself a lot more next semester, then like you can take that on and realize okay, I'm much better now. I know what to do. I'm a lot more organized. # organized.
Yeah. I guess if there's any other advice I can give, I think it's very good like to sketch down or like even write down ideas that you have, because sometimes I don't know what I want to do like immediately, so I'll start writing down like just one little blip of like an idea, and then try to like expand on that.
Oh yeah, like
writing down
small.
your ideas really helps.
Oh yeah, like to quote, don't laugh at me. To quote Pinkie Pie from the My Little Pony movie, one small thing can be the biggest thing of all.
Yeah, it all leads to like another thing, and it kind of helps because I know sometimes like I'm expected to like have thumbnails, and then I'm just like, but I don't even know what I want to do in the first place, let alone like draw anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always good to have like a concrete thought at least.
Yeah, and writing down I think will also help you like remember what you want to do.
Oh yeah.
And you don't have to stop at that one particular idea. You can also just like kind of keep going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess before I answer the final question, like I do have this bit of advice. Don't get full of yourself. Ever. At the end of the day, you're just another artist with a lot of big ambitions and dreams. That doesn't make you God's gift to the earth. And there have been plenty of students in the past that I've known, and even now, who think, oh, I'm better than you because of this. No. Remember, we're not above or below anybody. We're all equal.
Yeah, we're all just like a bunch of like chain monkeys. I forget what the actual term is. We gotta like hold each other like together, because that's like really important as artists, especially when like the air from like other people, it's like you gotta compete with each other, you gotta like step over each other to like get where you want to be. But I think that we are far much more stronger when everyone's just looking out for each other. And I'm kind of glad that I've seen this like at least online, where it's like I don't want to compete with other people, I want to work alongside them. And I feel like that mentality is something that should be carried as like whatever major you are, like build each other up, because not only are these people your peers, but they're also your future like coworkers.
Oh yeah, I've never forgotten about like my past classmates or like past professors. Like yeah, I may not always talk about them, but like every now and then I'll be like, hey, what's up, what's going on, or something. And like it's always good to remember the people who helped you out, because otherwise what else do you have left?
Yeah, I'm very thankful, like at least this semester I haven't had anybody try to be like kind of high and mighty. Yeah,
that's good.
I've only had one experience at like CCBC where I know we're running short on time, but like this dude was like criticizing this, like I had to draw like a grunge character and like a vintage character, and he was like, this character really isn't grunge, this character is like a hot topic emo. And then my professor was just like, these are two beautiful lesbians, and they are having a good time together despite their differences. Shut up.
That's a better explanation.
Yeah.
Oh, way to go, dude.
Yeah.
All right. We got one more question to wrap this up, and this is the same question I've wrapped up all my previous episodes, but be it personal or professional, what would you say have been both the toughest and proudest moments in your life, and how did they impact you?
That, for the toughest, that's really hard to pinpoint. I think a lot of the better moments of my life have been in college, both at CCBC and maybe a little bit at Micah, but I've only been here for a semester.
Right.
My better moments, like at college, it's a lot more freeing. I feel like I have more personal choice. It also ties into, like, you know, those tougher parts of my life. That was living with my family.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of grew up in an environment that was really unhealthy for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's made me have unhealthy perceptions of myself.
Oh.
And there are countless experiences that I could name that I don't have the time for.
Yeah, you don't need to go into that.
Yeah. But I can say, yeah, the better thing about being at Micah, though, and it's like one of, where I can say, like, the best moments of my life is, like, being able to live on my own and having that freedom to actually, you know, tell people, say, hi, I'm Andy, and people will just go, okay. Whereas if I said to my dad, like, I'm Andy, and my dad's gonna be like, I don't know, I think he'll either have a heart attack or he's gonna shoot me. But, like, I don't know, I'm living the better parts of my life now, despite, this semester being very tough in particular, so I think that says a lot, but also, in a way, I think it shows how, like, far I've come, and I can tell that now I'm more self-assured, more self-efficient, more productive, which, again, says a lot, but I kind of really feel more together now that I am past those tougher moments of my life, and I can finally have the best ones.
Right. No, I get that. Like, I've known plenty of people in my life, both, like, as a kid and now, who, like, had some of the worst upbringings I've ever heard. Like, I'm amazed that they even got out of it. But, like, again, they got out of it. They found that they're people. They became a lot more, you know, self-confident, and they, you know, realized that, okay, I have a mental disability. Maybe I am kind of, like, a bit psychopathic, but I'm trying my absolute damnedest to live the best, like, to live my life to the fullest and be the best person I can possibly be. Like, I should know, because, like, I kind of went through something a little similar, not entirely, but, like, there was a point in my life where I did kind of hate myself for being autistic. That's probably not quite as bad as, like, yeah, it's probably not as bad as, like, what other people went through, but that kind of, like, mentality can really mess with you. But, like, if you're able to fight through it and eventually realize that there really isn't anything wrong with me, no matter what society says, and that I can live in spite of these so-called differences, then that, I think, like, you're making the world kind of a better place, honestly.
Yeah, and but also, like, I want to add, like, even if you feel like, you know, you're not struggling as much as, like, other people, that, like, you don't have to undermine, like, your struggles. You don't have to, like, tone it down, like, play it down.
Right.
Because drowning in, like, 3 feet of water is still the same thing as drowning in 13 feet of water. You are both drowning. So, you don't have to, like, downplay those struggles, because, you know, it still hurts regardless. It still hurts, and it's still a lot to deal with, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. I don't want to end this on a sour note, so, I guess,
We'll get a lifeguard.
Yeah. So, that's pretty much it for not only this episode, but for this year, folks, I guess this season even. So, with that said and done, Andy, where can people find you? And by that, I mean social media.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. My username is Spurrinkles. That is SPURRINKLES. One more time. SPURRINKLES. I feel like I'm, like, Have you seen Arthur?
Oh, Arthur, that's the best show ever.
Do you know that episode where he's like,
A-A-R-D-V-A-R-K.
A-A-R-D-V-A-R-K.
We are such nerds.
I had one of those, I don't know, one of those, like, reading night things at elementary school where you, like, came up and you promoted, like, a certain book, and I can say that my very first cosplay was actually Arthur.
Nice!
When I was 7 years old, and I had a little push the talk button on my hand, and then I would just be, like, summarize the whole entire book, and then I'd be like, then you can go to your local library and read Arthur's Thanksgiving.
Oh man, I gotta rewatch this one, Arthur. I will do so after this.
It is on YouTube, so you can do that.
I can watch him and Mr. Rapper and get married for the 47th time.
Yes, that was so good. That episode made me really happy.
It did.
I love Arthur still. It's very clever.
Yeah, like, it's not as good as it used to be. That's kind of what happens when you go on for, like, a generation. But there's still bits of cleverness here and there.
That was my show, because I grew up without cable.
Same.
For large portions of my life, so getting to watch Arthur right before school was, like, the highlight of my day.
Nice. Okay, so that's pretty much it, folks. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for coming on, Andy.
Yeah. Do you think we can give them one more, like, Arthur spelling bee chant before we go?
Sure, go ahead.
A-A-R-D-V-A-R-K. A-A-R-D-V-A-R-K. A-A-R-D-V-A-R-K.